going on, guys? My name is Matt, and this is Steve. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is Final Boss, where, surprisingly, we fight final bosses and talk about them. So, this is Demise from Skyward Sword, and I know a lot of people go back and forth if they enjoyed Skyward Sword, if they like the controls or not. I love this game. I really dug the controls, and I thought this was a really solid way to end the game.
Yeah, it's been a while since I actually played through the game, but this boss fight is definitely memorable for me just because of like the atmosphere. You know, you come into it, it's got that great scenery in the background. It's like a do or die kind of mission. If you make it out alive, then everything's all hunky-dory. And if you die here, then everyone else is screwed. 1,000 years of darkness or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it really puts a lot of pressure on the player.
Yeah. Really, the final act of the entire game, I loved. Like, the final dungeon was great, and then returning to, what is it, Holy Grounds or whatever, to hopefully stop Demise one more time, but you don't. And, like, the Gearhem boss fight's great. Him turning into his sword, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. It really set up really well for this. That's why I don't have the Hylian shield, by the way. I was all amped up about actually fighting him, and I was like, let's just do it.
Which, it doesn't really matter for how you're playing right now. I mean,
that's true.
You stick to what you know and what you're comfortable with. Yeah. Jumping around and slashing at him until you get a couple hits on him.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, you'll see in a little bit when it goes over to my playthrough of the boss where I'm using the shield a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a great fight that you can fight it however you want, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the interesting aspect of it because the focus, I mean, Skyward Sword, the focus is on using your sword, and there's a lot of enemies where you have to use it a certain way. It's not just, you know, in Twilight Princess where you just wiggle your arm. You have to be very precise with your strikes, and what's cool about this, it's not like your typical Zelda boss. It's not hit him 3 times with a special item, and it's not like the past few final bosses for the 3D Zelda games has been like, alright, hit him with the light arrows and you're done with it. It's, you know, a focus is on it's a sword fight through and through, you know? And they've been trying to do sword fights since the Wind Waker. And Twilight Princess is the one they hyped up a lot, and it was not that good.
But you'll see in this one, like, I'm much more patient than you were.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just what came natural to me. Mm-hmm. I remembered using the shield from the original playthrough that I did, where you probably like charged after people and would wait for them to hit me before retaliating.
Yeah, I'm very impatient.
So I know I went through with the Hylian shield, but I got afraid a little bit when going through here without it.
Yeah,
the shield almost breaking.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem. I was always terrible at countering with the shield, and that's great how you can kind of juggle it. And I never even knew really that you could do that. I thought you always had to just keep attacking until you get an open spot. But it's really interesting that they cater to the way you're going to play the game. Like,
they give you options for how
exactly, and that gives, I mean, I sometimes mention a lot, it gives the player agency in this world. Like, I mean, for a Zelda game, it's, you know, it's a linear experience. It's whatever feeling of agency you get is kind of minor, I guess. But I think this is a cool way of doing it. Like, the final boss, the way you fight, you're going to be able to do that in this fight. You don't have to cater to a certain way of doing things, like, oh, just hit his head with the arrow 3 times.
Right,
like,
and you can see, I kind of tried your tactic there a little bit, slash and stab, and it doesn't work out too well for me. I mean, I give up on it pretty quickly.
I think when I originally played it, I tried to use my shield a bit. I think it broke really quick. I'm terrible at doing it. Like, but and that's cool watching you play it, and I even mentioned showing you how I did it. I didn't know he did those like little feints and whatnot. Like, he tries to trick you. Tries to trick you. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
At least
never even
one
seen
time that happens.
Yeah.
And even in the next section, you can notice that even more.
Yeah.
That there are things that I wouldn't have initially thought to think of. But it's definitely like, I mean, it's not an easy boss.
No.
You know, which is great. I like that challenge. You know, you're afraid that you're going to die. I mean, you have a bunch of hearts here.
Mm. I'm actually surprised how many hearts I have in this game. So I don't really collect the heart pieces in Zelda games. I'm like, oh, I had a few. Like,
and I know especially for this part, now that we're here, when I go into these fights, I'm always prepared. You know, I love exploring the game as fully as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea about that.
When I originally played, I had no idea you could do that.
You know, the lightning strike, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
had no idea about it until you told me when we were going through this again.
Yeah.
So I know I was going through, I was trying to attack him when he had his
Yeah.
like lightning sword. He would block, I'd lose too hard. So I know when I went through this originally,
It was very difficult.
it was really difficult. Came down to the wire like last
Yeah,
heart.
same with me.
Had like a bunch of potions with me, and all of them like the heart potion plus plus, and
Yeah.
like I think guardian plus plus, which cut damage in half, and it was still down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's what the kind of challenge I would want in a game. Like, it's not going to, you know, I didn't die when I played it, but it was down to the wire. Literally, I had like 0 hearts left, and it was really intense. And that's the challenge I want to get that balance is really tough. And what's cool, you can do that. You don't need to use the lightning strikes, but if you realize that you can use the lightning strikes, I feel like that's really empowering. Like, it's gratifying to figure out. It's like a puzzle element. And there's like an aha moment, like, oh, stick the sword in the air. That's really cool.
I didn't make that connection, and it made this fight super difficult for me. You know?
Yeah, right?
And I still got that same gratification from it because it was so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had realized, like, oh, he's using the lightning, why don't I try it?
Yeah, and it's something you've been doing the entire game. Like, it would be really cool to discover it, I feel like. I know some people said that it made the fight easier. I still...
It does.
You'll see it here. I don't do great because I do stuff like that. But I feel like either way, if you fight him without the lightning strikes, you'll be satisfied by the challenge. But if you get the lightning strikes, it has that aha moment, which I really like.
The lightning strikes definitely make it simpler. But
Definitely. But it still has something to feel good about, I guess.
That gratification wouldn't be the same if you had told me the first time I went through and was like, oh, hey, use the lightning, it makes it easy.
Yeah.
So I think if people had been looking around online like, oh, what am I going to expect?
Yeah, you would ruin the whole
experience. I can totally
experience.
see why people would be disappointed in this fight then. Because you know his weakness, basically. You know, like, if it had been one of those... And I guess this part kind of is, like, hit him 3 times and that's what you get, you know?
Yeah.
Where if you're using the lightning, it becomes that. It's like, make sure to hit him with the lightning and you're good to go. Although we've seen already a couple times where it collides with his.
Which I didn't realize that happened. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And when he charges you and you have the lightning, it feels like you're like a bull rider, like right there. Oh, bull rider, a bull fighter. Yeah, you get the bull true, man. It's so awesome. And doing the fatal blow, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm still like getting chills from that now. Like, is he gonna hit him this time, or is he gonna roll out of the way?
A lot more satisfying than the Twilight Princess one.
Like, I've watched this fight how many times now, and it's still every time you go up into the air, I'm like, and I know it's 3 times and he goes down, but it's still super satisfying.
Think, I'm using the lightning strikes. I consider myself. I'm pretty good at the Zelda games. Like, I'm not 2 hearts, you know. Doing this was very exciting. He's very getting down to the wire. Get the bull tree right there.
And that's what I mean. Like, the entire time you're fighting, you're afraid.
Oh yeah. Oh god, it's great.
You are literally fighting to stay alive.
Yeah, and it's at this point, you know, with a Zelda game, I want to have fun, but the best moments I've had playing Zelda is when it's like, it's like very, that adrenaline rush. It's so great. So I really like that fight. I know some people had a problem with it, I guess, but I really thought that was a cool way to end the game.
Definitely. A great atmosphere for it. You know, it's, and the samurai look is fantastic.
Well, yeah, it's like it's the first Zelda, and that's like the origin of Ganondorf right there. I think that's a cool character model. I think he has a samurai look. It's about sword fighting. Yeah, and he kind of looks like I dig it. It's cool.
Mano y mano.
Also, the scar. I don't know if they do that in any of the other games, but Twilight Princess, he has that scar.
Which is cool that they have that consistency.
Yeah, definitely. It had a lot of cool little quips throughout the game that harken back to the other games. I was like, it's pretty cool.
People like me probably wouldn't catch.
Yeah.
But it's nice that they put things in like that for the dedicated gamers.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I never thought it felt like it was pandering to like, oh, it's cool, it gets me. It's like, no, it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I hate when people pander to you. But anyway, guys, that's the end of that fight. So, thanks for watching. If you would, like, comment, and subscribe, and favorite. See, when you do that, angels sing, and it's great. I think I can't. I don't know. We might get sued. Anyway, take it easy, and we'll see you next time on Final Boss. I can't do this.